Hi everybody, Jo here again. Thanks so much for popping in. I hope you've had a lovely weekend and you're raring to go. We have a new challenge this month and the theme is blue hues. Now, last week we did a design where we did a lot of blue ink in the background, we did some blending and then we stamped on top. So what I thought I'd do this week is show you another design that will be perfect for the challenge, but this time I'm concentrating on stamping in my blues. So last week we were more looking at our background inks and using that as our blue theme. Whereas today I thought we'll stamp in various shades of blue. Same challenge, but just a different way of looking at it. So come on, let's get crafting. So we're going to start with a piece of multifarious card, and this is just 5.5 inches square. Or if you want to do a larger 8x8 card, maybe add a little bit of ribbon, a little bit of glitter. Obviously, a sentiment here. You know, you could really jazz it up a little bit. Maybe another butterfly down here. But again, I think these designs, you can either take them as they are or you can add that bit extra. So we're going to start with our stamping. And what I do first, when I'm doing something like this, I look at my inks. So in my Versafine Clair, my collection, I've gone for Twilight, and that's my darkest colour. Paradise, Bally Blue and Arctic. And they're just the 4 that I've chosen to use. If you've got different ones, go ahead. You know, mix it up a bit. And the first stamps I'm going to use are the mushroom lanterns. Now, these are, again, an older selection of stamps. So there's the mushroom lantern single, and look at that. The detail in this is stunning. Now, with that, we've got the mushroom lantern set. So we've got 2 smaller ones, and the 3 work so well together. So this is going to be the focal point of my design. I haven't used these for a while, so it's a good time, have a look through your stamps and see which ones you haven't used for a while. So we're starting with our deeper colour, and that's our Twilight. And we're just going to come in and we'll just slightly offset that and pop it there. It's always a good thing to do, you know, beginning of the year, look through your stamps. Have a look which ones you haven't used for a while. Look at that, the detail, it's just beautiful. So we'll go in for the next size. And again, I'm being mindful not to put my block on my card. When you're starting off, try and get in good habits, because you might have ink on there, put it on your design. And you know what happens? I know. So that's the next size. And then we'll just have a lovely grouping of the 3. So we'll come in with the smaller one now. And again, nice light tapping. I'm sticking with the darker colour. I'm going to pop this one here. And I'm just varying the height. I just think it looks that bit more natural, look, to vary the height. So I'm happy with that. And I just want to add a little bit more shape. So this one I'm coming in with the fern heads look. Again, lovely, lovely stamp. Now I didn't use the single one. We have this as a single as well. And I used that last week, so check that one out, because again, I think they would look nice used together. So I think we'll go for Bally Blue next. And I'm going to create, I want to start to create that sort of shape. Now, when you're creating this sort of design, don't look at it at this stage and think, oh, I don't like that. It's carry on with the design. Often, halfway through, we're almost looking at it. And I use that phrase, dog's dinner. That's probably just because I've got Eric. But obviously, I know we've got lovely friends and followers all over. So if that's not an expression that you use here in the UK, it just means it looks a bit of a mess. So often halfway through, I think, really? But then when it all comes lovely in the end, I want some of the fern head here, but I don't want to stamp over this. So what I've done is just with a cloth, I've wiped the base of the stamp and I've only inked up the top little bit, look. And then what I'll do is just stamp that up there So you see how it gives me this shape here. And don't worry about that there, we'll fill that in. And so you've just got it, you don't want to overstamp that because that's my main focal point. And so we're just going to build up. So the next stamp I've chosen to use is the lovely lavender. And again, this is fabulous. And I thought lavender again with blues. And for this, I'm going to come for the sort of my brighter colour now, the Paradise. I'm thinking lavender needs to be that lovely brighter blue. So we'll stamp a few of these. But again, I want to sort of start to make it look more obvious that we've got like a fan shape. And again, I want a little bit at the top. So I'm just going to wipe my stamp and then just ink up the top of the lavender. And then we'll just put one there. And you see that does two things. It keeps this shape nice, but also we filled that little gap there. But also we've got depth and perspective because the lavender is now in front of the fern head. I think we just need one there. So again, I'm just going to ink up the top. I'm going to put the lid on because I think I've finished. And I'm just going to put that one there. So can you see I've got that lovely fan shape? Right, happy with that. Now, I don't want to overcook this, but I just need one more little bit of almost fluffiness here in the field grass. So those of you that have followed me for a while, you will know I adore the field grass. It's just for me the best filler in stamp. It has a smaller sister, the orchard grass. And for this, I'm coming in with my lightest colour, the Arctic. And this, I just want to sort of fill in wispy bits and carry on with that lovely shape. So we'll stamp a few here, look. And also, if you want it to look further in the distance, look, we'll stamp a second generation. And just by inking up the top and that second generation, so you see we've got that lovely shape. And again, it's given us that depth and perspective. Now, just while we've got the ink out, we're going to stamp a couple of these little butterflies. This is the mini stamps. I love these. Got to be honest, I've got two of these because mine has had a habit of flying off before now. I don't know if it just goes to warmer climates when we have snow. I'm going to use my darker colour, the Twilight. And again, scrap of card. This is a great way of using your scraps of card. And we're just going to stamp a couple of those. And then we'll add some colour in a minute. What we are going to do, now you could leave this at this stage if you wanted, but I just want to add a little bit more depth here. Circle mask now. I'm just going to turn my design upside down. We're going to use this as a moon, but also as a focal point. So I'm going to start with some blue atoll and always blend in the lid. And I'm just going to make this a real spotlight here, so it's the focal point. Dab on your mask first. If you've got a new ink pad and it's very juicy, which they are because they're full of pigment, full of colour, that's why we dab off in the lid. And I start at the bottom, look, and then some ink at the top. Now, I don't want this to be too dark. So if I'm not sure, look, I can take it off. Oh, we just want a wee bit more. Technical term that, isn't it? Wee bit more. Right, happy with that. So I like that at the top. It's quite light. But I'm just going to now fill in the space. And that's why it was important to blot my stamping, because I don't want it to smudge. And I'm just going to add that light blue colour now, look, over the whole design. So next, I'm going to come in with some blue lagoon. So we're almost going to deepen it. And we want it deeper at the base. So if I start at the base and then just bring that darker colour. And again, if it's a new ink pad, make sure you dab off in the lid. And when you're adding your darker colour, if you're one of our lovely new followers, hold your brush nice and loose, dab in the lid, start at the edge here, and then as you've got less ink, come further up into the design. And you see very subtly we're getting that build-up of colour. And then finally, I'm going to come in with some midnight blue. Now this is a dark colour, look. So I've gone for a smaller brush. And I'm just going to gingerly, very gently add a little bit at the base here and a little bit up there. And just take your time. But again, with this colour, just make sure you go in that lid. You don't want to come on and spoil it when, you know, you get to this stage. Just a little bit more. I don't want to overdo it. I almost want to give that shadow that depth. So can you see that? And how it's given that lovely design. So I want to add a little bit of colour. So I'm going to come in with our blue Wink of Stella. Love these. And I don't want to put finger marks on my work. So for me, it's a good habit to get into to actually lean on a piece of copy paper or kitchen roll. Now you can colour these individually. But I'm just going to go over the whole thing. If you want, you know, I often like to just sit and colour. And if you've got an afternoon where you've got nothing or a morning, you know, you could stamp a few of these up ready, then make yourself a lovely brew, get yourself that cheeky biscuit and just sit and colour. And really enjoy and lose yourself. It's amazing. It's so good for the soul, good for mind and body. Just sit and do some lovely colouring. Don't forget the back of the card, the envelope. See, you've got lots of stamping and colouring to do there. Now, while I've got my Wink of Stella, look, I'm going to colour my butterflies. Now, for this, I'm going to use my clear Wink of Stella as well. And I'll just colour one to show you. I'm going to add the darkest colour in the middle, look. And then I'm going to pick up, and this is a little tip, we do this with our Zig Clean Colour pens. I'm going to pick up a little bit of that blue on my clear, and then I can blend that out till it goes clear. If I want it a wee bit darker in the middle, look, I can just add little bit of blue into those veins. If I'm worried about any blue on my clear brush, look, I can just wipe it a few times and it will go back to being clear. So I've got a couple of those I've already cut out. Now, last little thing on here, some white highlights, and I'm just going to use my white Posca for this. Just, I don't want to overcook it, but a couple of white on that one, few on this one, maybe a couple here and there, this one just on this side, and then some good old Posca splats, again using my large brush, turning it round. If you don't like the Posca splats, leave this bit off. If you've got a blue Posca and you want to add some blue Posca splats, that would look lovely. Or maybe a contrast, maybe the yellow. Maybe make 3 designs. Use white on one, yellow and blue, and then tell me which one you like the best. And then the butterfly. So many of you will know I have a butterfly tin. So there's the ones I've cut out ready. And on my scraps of card, look, when I'm stamping my butterflies, so these, I'm going to colour the other one and pop them in my tin. Do you know what, when I'm demonstrating as well, some ladies cut these out for me. So little tip, get your friends to help you cut some out and have a tin of butterflies ready, because you never know when you're going to need them. Now let's have a look. Decide where we're going to put them. Might want one, might just mix this up a bit. Oh no, I like one actually on the design. Yes, I do like it there. Or shall I put it here? Oh, choices, choices. So I'm going to decide this one here. Black fine liner pen, just draw the antennae because I don't cut those out. Yes, I think we'll have this one over here. Right, I've drawn the antennae now, so I have to stick it there, don't I? Bippity boppity glue, fabulous, except I can't say it very well. Couple of dabs. These I'm putting quite flat because if this is going in the post, I don't want to pay extra postage if I'm decoupaging. If it's a card you're giving by hand, then maybe 3D the butterflies. And I'm just going to add a little bit of the white splatters over the butterflies, just to highlight. Yeah. And there we have it. Some gorgeous blue hues. Now, I think you could make this design in blue. There it is mounted, look. But there for the challenge. But then maybe this would look beautiful in oranges. What about greens, purples, brown, totally vintage. So you take care. Thanks as always for joining me. When you've created your designs, please pop them on Facebook, pop them on our Lavinia group and tag me in because I love to see what you do. So love and hugs from me, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Sleep well. Bye for now.